His phone rings. He picks up his phone. And immediately you feel it. That tightness in your heart, that stiffness, that suspicion starts creeping in. Who is that? Who is calling him? Why are they calling him or her? Why are they calling her? Why are they calling him? What's happening? Is anything wrong? Maybe it's a colleague. Start asking yourself, that voice in your head, start thinking. Maybe it's a colleague. Maybe it's a family member. Are you sure it's not a woman? Or is he a man? You start thinking a lot and a lot of things. But the insecurity don't care about the logic. Like you start filling your head with a lot of things. And if you don't deal with it, it will slowly burn your marriage to the ground. Yes, you heard me. If you don't deal with it, it will burn it. Scatter, scatter. Yes. Let's talk about it where you listen. Now, before I continue, if you have not subscribed, make sure you do that. Now, press the follow button and make sure your notification bell is on. Let's go. So, insecurity in marriage looks so many different ways. It comes in different shades. It looks like demanding every password from your partner. It looks like demanding every password, your phone password, your iPad, like your gadgets, every single password. It looks like sending someone to monitor your partner, to follow her or him secretly wherever she goes. That is spying on your partner, so that you know each and every move of your partner. Some people can pay a spy as a man. Some men can pay spies. Some women can pay spies. They want to know where their husband goes. They want to know where their wife goes. They want to know if their wife is smiling with their boss at the office. They want to know if their husband is keeping a female friend. They want to know if their wife is keeping a male friend. It looks like calling your partner 10 times in a day, asking him or her where or what she's doing at that moment. If she has, like, what are you doing? Have you eaten? And maybe he hears someone else's voice. Who is that? Or you give the person, let me know who that is. Let me know who that was. That is what insecurity looks like. And sometimes you mistake it with love or too much care. Like when he calls you 10 times in a day, or she calls you 10 times, you mistake it with being caring. But when it comes crashing, we understand that it is insecurity. I am not saying it's not a good habit to check up on your partner. There are some kind of checking up that looks suspicious. So this is a brief example of insecurity. So it feels like concern. It feels justified. My partner loves me. Oh, when it comes crashing down, stay with me. But here's what insecurity actually is. It's a wound that hasn't been healed. And you are now asking your partner to manage that habit, to manage it for you. You're asking your partner indirectly to manage it for you. And that's not fair. It is not fair to ask your partner to shrink their life so that your unhealed pain will feel comfortable. To shrink their life. That is to adjust to what you want. Like even when it is causing them depression, it is causing them trauma, they should adjust to your taste because that is what you want. That's not fair. No freedom, no communication with outside world. You just want that person to always look at you. No, don't smile with anyone else. Just look at me. Don't speak with anybody else. Look at me. That's not fair. No makeups because it attracts attention. When you see a beautiful lady, she wears a makeup and you get married to her, and after the marriage, you tell her what to do. You tell her, yeah, a woman should listen to her husband. But you saw her when she wears makeup and you love it. And now you want her to stop because it will attract men. I don't want men to look at you. You want her to stop dressing nicely because men will look at her. You don't want her to wear perfumes. You just don't want her to make beautiful hairs because it will attract people to her. Yeah, you prefer she ties her hair, just look old, not even natural. Some people can be natural and still dress beautifully and still look good. But now you don't want anything that will make people to admire, like to give her a compliment. You don't want it. That is not fair. That is example of insecurity. You say you are well endowed I want you to wear a big clothes. Put on big clothes. I don't want. But when you go out and you see people with her kind of body and you turn and look them. So what do you really want? That is selfishness. Don't be selfish. So you don't want your man to look good because you don't want people outside or women. You don't want him attracted to women. You don't want him to wear perfumes or things like that. You don't want her to be social. You don't want him to be social. Don't have friends. Don't keep friends. Yes. Don't even smile. It's not even don't keep friends. Yes, some people don't keep friends. Don't even smile. When you go to the church, don't smile at anybody. Don't laugh. Just focus. Close and come back home. Let me tell you, you get her depressed. You get him depressed when you see people. Who is that girl? That girl smiling at you. Who is that? That is insecurity. And that is not fair. When you're making your partner pay for your crime, you need to heal. Stop feeling threatened. Nobody's taking your partner away from you. Stop feeling threatened. Do you know if that your partner want to cheat on you, she can still be in that decent attire. She can still not wear that makeup and she'll still do whatever she wants to do. So don't think that people that wears makeup are the worst kind of people, or people that put on what you don't want are the worst kind of people. Stop feeling threatened. That is not protection. That is imprisonment. You are imprisoning your partner with your insecurity. And eventually, the person being contained will start to resent you. Suddenly, the feelings start dying because your partner will want to do something that you will admire her for it. You will admire him for it. Insecurity can make a man to start embarrassing his wife because he's feeling threatened. Insecurity can make a woman to start embarrassing her partner, her husband, because of insecurity. When he's in a public place, you show yourself and speak to him anyhow you want and talk to him anyhow you want. It will make the man to start resenting you. It will definitely make the man to stop having feelings for you. And the feelings die gradually. The marriage breaks. Here's the question that cuts to the core. If your partner did everything right, checking regularly, was transparent, gave you no reason to doubt him or her, will the insecurity go or will it still be there? Here's a question I want to ask. For many people, the honest answer is no. Because the insecurity was never really about their partner. It was about something that happened before the partner ever existed. A past betrayal, a parent who left, a relationship that shattered your ability to trust anyone. That is the cause of this insecurity. That means you need help. If your parent left you, you need help. You need to get a consultant and seek help. Those things are real. They are valid, but they are yours to heal, not for your partner to suffer or to adjust to your level. They are yours to heal. Marriage will expose this. It will show whether your love is rooted in security or in fear. And a love rooted in fear will always eventually try to control what it cannot contain. Yes, you heard it. What it cannot contain, it want to control it because you are afraid. If you recognize yourself in this video, in what I just said, do something about it today. Admit your fault to yourself first before anyone else. And then to someone you trust, get a help, seek for a counsel. Insecurity is not a character that you keep. It's not a character. It's not a character flaw. It's a wound, and wounds can heal. But only if you acknowledge. Make sure you like, comment, share this video. I'm still the reality with Anne. See you again in my next video.